Knits podcast. My name is Jessie and I'm your host. Today is Tuesday, April 29th, 2014. You can find me on Ravelry as Hokie Knits. That's Hokie Knits. And I'm also on Instagram. My Instagram username is Jessie Does Stuff. And I'll be sure to scroll that along the bottom here so that you can find me. We also have a Ravelry group now. I put that together just as episode 1 aired a couple weeks ago. And that is Jessie Knits Podcast. Just go ahead and search that. So yeah, episode 2, here we go. This is going to be, I'm going to call it already. It is the one with all of this stash enhancement. I think I may have lost my mind a little bit. I'm looking over here at this just mountain of new yarn that I procured over the last couple of weeks, and so I don't want to ramble on too much about the fact that I have a lot of stash, because I have a lot of stash and I'm going to show it to you. So let's talk quickly about my last couple of weeks. It's been kind of insanity. Let's see. The last time that I saw you, I was just getting ready for the end of semester projects that I had to do. And basically, I ended up having to cram 3 relatively large projects into the span of about 3 days, where I just had to put finishing touches. For my survey of special education class, I had to spend 24 hours either blindfolded to simulate blindness, or with my ears plugged to simulate what it is to be deaf. And 24 hours like that, it can change your life. I won't go too much into that just because this is a knitting podcast, but that was kind of intense. But the good news is the spring semester is over. Last night was my last class of the semester. We finished up presentations for this pretty broad scale project that we did and presented on that last night, and that was it. The good thing about grad school is I only have 2 classes and there's no finals. So that's pretty awesome. And then just before class last weekend, I was actually celebrating my birthday. Friday, April 25th was my 26th birthday, and my boyfriend and a couple of my friends from college went down to Blacksburg to Virginia Tech to go to the spring game, which is just like a spring scrimmage, so we get a chance to see how the team's looking, and it was an absolute blast. We had a lot of fun. I got to reminisce with a couple of the girls from my freshman hall, and it was a good time. I am, unfortunately, I don't know if you can tell, you might not be able to see on the camera, which is pretty fantastic, but I am a little sunburnt. No surprise there. Fair skin, I walk out in the sun, it's like, found me. So, a little bit of a sunburn, but nothing terrible. Nothing too bad. And definitely worth it. It was a good weekend. So let's talk about some knitting things. First of all, I just wanted to address a couple of things in the Ravelry group. First of all, I wanted to welcome several of our new members. We do have, I think, at last I checked, 17 members, myself included, and so that's fantastic. I'm really, really surprised by that, but also very, very excited. So for those that introduce themselves in the introductions thread, we have Karen from Connecticut. We have, now excuse me if I mispronounced your name, I'm typically pretty good about this, but sometimes I get it wrong, Swan from South Dakota. We also have Dorothy from Minnesota and Kate from Boston, originally from Portland. So hey everybody, and welcome to the Ravelry group. I'm so happy to have you. Let's see. I know that one person had mentioned that they want to see some of my old finishes, and so I have 2 of those to show you today. One of them I can't show you because it was a gift from my brother and he has it, so I won't be able to show you that, but I do have a couple of others. Somebody also mentioned Hope that we will do some knit-alongs in the future, and that is absolutely in the plans. I happen to really, really like knit-alongs. I'm just sort of waiting until the podcast gets its bearings first before we start throwing everything in. But in the very near future, I'm in the planning stages of trying to get a knit-along together. So, on the way. And so that's that. I think I'm going to sort of follow in the footsteps of several other podcasts, and I'm going to open up a questions thread. So if you want to ask me a question that you want answered on the podcast or privately, there will be a thread to do so. So yeah, but I'm going to open that up once I post this episode here. So let's talk knitting, because like I said, I have a lot of stash, and so I just want to get through to that so that we can tackle this monster. First of all, my old finishes. I don't have any new finishes, but I do have these 2 finished objects to show you. The first one was my very first knitting finish, and so it will always hold a special place in my heart. And it is a seed stitch headband. Very simple. I'm not going to try it on because it actually looks really silly on me. I may gift this to a friend or who knows what. I think I just made it too wide. And I was sort of careless about knitting the bow. So this is out of, let's see, this is called the Cozy Posy Ear Warmer Headband, and it is by Heather Turpin. This maroon section here is Loops and Threads Cozy Wool. The colorway is 2430 Merlot, and then the tie off here is Vanna's Choice Solids Heathers and Twists in the terracotta colorway. And so this is a bulky thread, bulky wool. And this is really, really quick. It was really, really simple. And I do like how this stitches turned out. Like, I think it looks really nice. It's too wide for my face. I've got cheeks, pretty serious cheeks, and so headbands have to be like a certain way for me to like how they look. So there's that. And then, oh, you'll notice that it is Hoki colored. We're getting a theme here, guys. The second thing that I finished is my Mira's cowl, and I think I mentioned this last time. I made an error when I talked to you about it last time, and I said that the designer was Mira Blackburn. That's incorrect. It's the Mira's Cowl by Mira Cole. So, here's that. Very simple. This is knit out of Claudia's Hand Painted Yarns. It used to be called Fingering, and now it is called Addiction, and it is in the Hokies colorway. Again, here we go with the theme, guys. And so this was also pretty quick. Nothing too, not great. I learned that I don't like weaving in ends. Surprise, surprise. I also learned I did a really stretchy bind off, and I'm kind of not really super pleased with that. I don't know that that was really a very fitting bind off for this. And then I washed it and I blocked it, and I don't have blocking boards and pins, and so I just blocked it by I washed it. I just rinsed it. I didn't really wash it, and then I cut 2 hangers, 2 plastic hangers, and then I strung it between them and just let it hang there to dry. And I think I made an error. I mean, you know, it's not perfect. It's kind of thick and thin. You can tell that it's just not a very even block. It's not perfectly finished as I would have preferred. And then the length of it's just kind of weird. It's really like a fabric necklace. It's not big enough to stretch over twice, but it's too big for just once. And so I haven't worn it yet. Well, actually, that doesn't look terrible. It's not terrible. You know, it will always hold a special place in my heart. Um, but definitely, definitely some room for improvement as far as blocking is concerned. You can really tell the issues that I had blocking it. Like I'm barely pulling any tension on it. So anyway, so that's that. That's my mirror's cowl. And so since I finished those, I decided to step away from the maroon and orange a little bit, because I didn't want all of my knitting to be hokey colored, you know. I'd like to do something a little different. So those are my old finishes. So let's move on to my works in progress. I am going to start off with the Hitchhiker. I haven't touched it, so I'm not going to show it to you. My Hitchhiker just hasn't seen any love lately because I've just been attracted to other things, and being so busy with school and whatnot, no time for that. So then I have my Eggnog by Thea Coleman, and I don't know that you'll be able to tell much change in this. I've only knit maybe 7 or 8 rows, so not a whole lot. You can see the sleeves are really starting to come together. Starting to get some obvious sleeve going on there. I've got about, I want to say 12 more rows or so until I'm done with the sleeves, and I can try it on to make sure that I'm at the right spot for the sleeves. But I think I'm on track. I've tried it on several times just to lay it across and see how it looks. So that's that. So this is the Eggnog cardigan, and it is by Thea Coleman, or Baby Cocktails, depending on your preference for which color. It is knit out of Knit Picks Swish Worsted. It's worsted weight 100% merino, and it is in the Dove Heather colorway. I am knitting it on US size 10s. I misspoke last time. My interchangeables are not Knit Picks. They are Knitter's Pride Nova interchangeables. At least that's what these ones are. So yeah, that's that. I'm beginning to run into an issue with my Eggnog because I have more stitches on the needles than really I have room for. I think that this is on my 32-inch cable, and I really need it to be on the 40-inch. But beyond that, the join here, where you twist the needle on, isn't so perfect. Sometimes it unravels a little bit. And so I ordered some fixed circulars with a much longer cable so that I don't have the similar issues. And so once that gets here, I'll be switching on over. And hopefully it's a different brand that I ordered, because as it turns out, I'm not in love with the Knitter's Pride needles. And so I'm hoping that my gauge won't be super affected, but I'll have to definitely keep an eye on that. And then we have my sockhead hat. This is the Autism Awareness Sockhead hat. The pattern is the Sockhead hat by Kelly McClure. It's a free pattern on Ravelry. And I am knitting this out of Manos del Uruguay in the Alegria base, which is 75% merino, 25% nylon, in the Colibri colorway. Oh my goodness, is that bright. So it's really, really rainy outside, and so the lighting in here is kind of weird. But there's that. Really, really bright. When you guys saw it last, I was almost done with the 2x2 rib, and now I am probably about 4 inches into the stockinette, so I'm almost halfway done with the stockinette. Yeah, really simple, really, really great car knitting. Really great do other things knitting, truly. I haven't made as much progress on this as I would have liked in 2 weeks' time. I thought for sure I'd have it finished by now, but there's only, you know, there's only so much time that you can devote to stockinette. It's just, it's like, okay, I need something a little bit more brain challenging. Um, so that's probably why I am not all the way done yet. But I don't know that I mentioned it, but these are on size US 3s, 3.25 millimeter needles. And just zooming along. Oh my goodness, it's so bright on that side. Even that doesn't really dull it out. Ooh. You know, the autism awareness, the knit along hosted by Fibertown, said bright, and I think we're achieving bright here. What do you guys think? Anyway, I'm really hoping that by the next time I record, I will have this as a finished object. Oh, and I don't know that I showed you guys this last time. My socket hat is in my only project bag. Little bulldogs. Wait, maybe I did talk about this. I'm not going to talk about it again in case I did. I probably should have gone over that. And then I have one more project on the needles. I told you guys last time that 2014 will be the year of the blanket. And so I thought I'd better go ahead and get started on the one that has a shorter deadline. And that is the Twinkle Twinkle blanket. Twinkle Twinkle Baby Blanket by Helen Stewart. And so this is knit, actually it's very different for me. This is quite a project. It is knit on Magic Loop. And so here's where I'm at. Oh gosh, I don't know how much of that you're going to be able to see. Well, I'm not very far. Let me see. Yeah, no, you're not going to be able to see the stitch definition just because the lighting in here is so weird. But, so this is for my friend who's having a baby in September. And, gosh, nope, I'm just not going to be able to see that. That's a bummer. I will try to take some pictures and stick those at the end of the video, so that you can see that. I mean, it's not very far along, and so it's going to be difficult to tell anyway. And plus, it's on that chocolate background, so it's hard to. It's just, you know, it's just going to be hard to see. So anyway, this is the like I said, Twinkle Twinkle blanket. It is out of Malabrigo yarn. Their sock base, which is the light fingering weight. It's 100% merino. And this is the Cordovan colorway. Fantastic, chocolatey, showing up way darker. Yeah, no, I'm not gonna get any true color. It's this deep dark chocolatey, delicious looking yarn. But you're not gonna be able to see that. I'm sorry guys. What am I gonna do with the weather? So I am knitting that on, okay, so I attempted to learn Magic Loop on my Knitter's Pride. This is why I don't like my Knitter's Pride anymore, and I couldn't do it. The cable is so stiff that I would either get kinks in it by trying to pull the loop through, or it just wouldn't let me coordinate the needles the way that I needed to for Magic Loop. So I went to my local yarn store for the very first time. Fantastic yarn store. I can't wait to go back and support them in any way that I can. And I was like, I need some help. I need some Magic Loop needles. And she was like, well, I don't do Magic Loop, but this is what I suggest. And so I got some Chiago's red lace. And when I went to this yarn store, I was absolutely convinced that the needle size that I needed was a US 5. So I bought US 5s. Well, as it turns out, the pattern actually calls for 6s. But, and you know, I'm a tight knitter anyway, so I probably should have maybe even gone to a 7. But I'll be honest, this is giving much more of a lacy look to it. Like you saw the holes through it, than I think is probably good for a baby blanket, so I'm okay with it being on a needle size that's a little bit smaller. And it is a light fingering weight, so I think it's all right. I think it's all right. I am beginning to regret doing a blanket out of fingering weight yarn. It's going to take a while. Um, but well, you know, I'll just keep going and I'll get it done. I have 3 skeins of yarn. The pattern only calls for 2, and maybe a little extra. And so I think I'm going to probably do some extra repeats just to make it a little bit bigger because I have the yarn to do so. So that is that, and those are my works in progress. Some of my future starts. I talked to you about the Hourglass Throw by Anne Hansen. That's the blanket that my mom wants. I'm going to start that here eventually. And then just recently, I saw a new knit-along on the way, and it is the Game of Thrones Mystery Knit-along by Kristen Ashbaugh Helmreich. Forgive me if I'm mispronouncing that. And it is out of a specially designed colorway of Lorna's Laces Shepherd Sock. And so I ordered that from Jimmy Bean's Wool. It's on the way. It's a shawl designed by Daenerys, or with inspired by Daenerys Targaryen from Game of Thrones, which I love. You know, I told you guys last week, or the last time, that I was reading the 4th book in the series. I'm a big fan of Game of Thrones, so I'm excited for this. And then the last, I'm giggling because this last one here is probably what inspired half of my new stash here. Yeah. And it is called the Salted. It is a pullover, or not a pullover, it's a sweater by Alicia Plemmer. And when I saw it, I just addicted. I had to have it. It was one of those, like, I have to have this in my closet. I want it now. Gimme, gimme, gimme. And so anyway, so I'll talk about that once I get into my stash. So yeah, so those are my planned projects for the near future. The Game of Thrones Mystery Knit-along first clue comes out on May 4th, so that's coming up here pretty soon. And then I want to start Salted as soon as I can. So let's talk stash, guys. I don't even know where to begin. Okay, so I'll start with the one that I got first. When I talked to you guys last, I was going to pick up my puppy from the vet hospital where he was staying while we were away for the weekend. And while I was there, I visited a craft shop that is up there, Old Town Needle Crafts. It's in Manassas, Virginia. And they have a lot of cross-stitch supplies, which is what I've mainly been there for previously. They have a lot of quilting supplies and fabrics. Haven't touched that yet. And then they also have a lot of knitting supplies. And so I thought I'd just go check them out and see what their knitting offerings were. And, well, I got to talking with the owner, and she's just sweet as can be. And so I was like, you know what, I'm going to support this yarn shop, and I'm going to buy something. And so I bought some sock yarn because I want to knit socks. And so this is Tapping Tootsies in the Summer Sunrise colorway. And I talked to you guys about my blog, my book blog, very briefly. And it was designed with like ocean beachy themes, so it's got these browns and blues in it. That's what mainly the theme looks like for now, because I'm in the process of changing the design, and so I wanted to get these. I want to do these to commemorate that. That's actually shown up pretty true to color, so I guess just the dark colors have a hard time. So that's that. And so I'm gonna try some just plain vanilla socks with this. Oh, And this is 60-30-10 merino bamboo nylon, 434 yards. So there we go. Then, okay, so I am a big proponent for Eat Sleep Knit. It's an online yarn shop. They're based in Georgia. And so I've bought a lot of yarn from them. And I am involved in their yarnathon. I am Team Robo Knits. And so a lot of this is to advance myself in the yarnathon. Because Eat Sleep Knit, just want to say hats off to you for your fantastic marketing, because I've been totally suckered in and bought more yarn than I don't know that I'll ever use. Okay, so first things first, working on my eggnog, I want to do another sweater, and so I bought, this is Toast. The colorway is Toast, and it's by Spud and Chloe. It's their sweater base, which is 55% superwash wool, 45% cotton. And each skein has 160 yards. And so I bought a sweater quantity. Got 6 here. And so when you're participating in the yarnathon, some of you may know this, but when you buy 6 skeins, the yardage that you're credited with for the yarnathon is actually 1.5 times what you actually get. And so I was only going to get 5 skeins, and then I was like, well, I might as well get the extra yardage, so I bought another skein. Suckered me in there, right? So in order to advance to the next level, I needed more yardage. So I bought something that I've been lusting after for quite some time now. And this is Handmaiden fine yarn, and it is sea silk. So it's 70% silk and 30% sea cell, which is a plant fiber. And this is the rose colorway, and there's 100 grams here. Beautiful, so soft. I cannot wait to use this. I think that I'm going to have to work on my skills a little bit before I knit with something so pretty. It's pretty luxurious. Super, super soft. So that's that. Very, very excited to use this. It's just beautiful. So that advanced me to the next level. To help out my fellow RoboKnits, every quarter they have a project that you can do to earn yardage. And this quarter, it's to knit something using your team logo. And so this is a colorwork chart. It's free available on Ravelry, so I'm okay with showing you that. So I was like, well, what would I want a robot on? And then I thought, I really need like a slipcover for my iPad, because I don't really have one, and I just thought it would be kind of cool to knit one. So I bought some Lorna's Laces Shepherd Worsted. So there's 4 skeins in, so this is Aran Weight, this is Mirth, this is Natural, this is Dobson, and this is Naperville. Gorgeous blue. I love that. It's showing up a lot brighter. Oh, it's closer. It's really more muted than that, but it is definitely hand-dyed. And so I'm going to make an iPad slipcover for that. And then, because once again, Eat Sleep Knit totally suckered me in, to reach the next level, I needed like another 1,000 yards or something. And so my experience, I don't have any lace weight yarn in my stash, and so I thought, well, why not? because this is 1,100 yards of, this is Claudia hand painted, and this is Silk Lace. It's 100% silk, and it is the Sand in Your Shoes colorway. And I always like supporting Claudia hand paints because it's, this is a Virginia dyer. I love this, and so this is 1,100 yards. And I don't know what I'm going to do with it yet. I am going to a wedding at the end of June, so I may make myself a nice little lace shawl. But again, like the Sea Silk, the Handmaidens, I'm going to have to work with this. I'm going to have to hone my skills a little bit before I use this, just because I don't want to mess up lace weight. So I reached the next level in the Yarnathon. And you guys, you're going to laugh at me so hard. You get rewards as you advance on, and so with the next level, I got this cute little mug, Eat Sleep Knit Yarnathon, and then, oh my gosh, guys, it's so comical. I had no idea that this was coming with this, but so these are little mini baby skeins of all of the colors of Lorna's laces, shepherd worsted, that I would need to do my robot. I was like, oh, you gotta be kidding me. So yeah, so I've got little mini baby skeins to do exactly what I want to do. So yeah. So anyway, I am going to actually use these for the color work to do the robot. I am going to still use my larger skein of natural because I don't think that this is quite enough for an iPad slipcover. But anyway, I think that's laughable. So there we go. So, and then I'm going to figure out something else to do with the full-size skeins. But we will see. We will see. So then, got 3 more to show. I was catching up on my podcast, and I was watching the Nerd Girl Knits podcast. Sorry guys, I got a little close there. And there's going to be some crinkling. And they were going on and on about this, about string theory caper sock yarn. And because I have no restraint, I bought some. So this is caper sock, and it is in the Juice colorway. This is 400 yards of 80% superwash, 10% cashmere, 10% nylon. And it is beautiful and so squishy soft. Just as advertised on the Nerd Girl Knits podcast. So I think I might do some Cookie A socks out of this once I figure out sock knitting with the tapping tootsies that I showed you before. So that's that. Beautiful, beautiful deep maroon. Oh, that's good. Yeah, that's pretty close. It's not so grapey. It's coming up more grape. So that's that. Okay. So now let's talk salted. So the suggested yarn for salted is Linus Arts, a DK weight of Linus Arts. And I can't find a sweater quantity of Linus Arts DK that in a colorway that I like. I was searching on D-Stashes because there haven't been any shop updates for Linus Arts in quite some time. And I couldn't find anything, and so I was sort of looking at other potential ideas for yarn to use, and there's Plucky Sweater, there's 80-10-10 Madeline Tosh, just a bunch of different things. And so I decided that if I'm going to do this thing, which I'm so in love with, I'm going to get yarn that I really want to use. And I just happened to be looking at D-Stashes, and I found somebody was D-Stashing some Madeline Tosh Pashmina. And it's in a perfect colorway. It's just, I'm so excited about it. So I managed to get Denim by Madeline Tosh. Pashmina, 75, 15, 10 merino silk cashmere. It's a sport weight, 360 yards per skein. And the D-stash had 5 of them, and so I have far more than I think I will need. Just, I can't even hold it all, but fantastic squishy pashmina. So that's that. What I was really going for was some plucky, because I have a plucky single in my stash, but I don't have plucky, you know, like I don't have a whole lot. And I'm always stocking plucky updates, and I really want some Bello, but I won't be able to buy some for a while. So in the meantime, what I really wanted for Salted was plucky, and like I said, and the suggested, or what other people have used, and given the fabric that I am really after for Salted, they've used plucky sweater. And when I first started looking into yarns for this, I couldn't find any plucky sweater in a colorway that I liked, in any D-stashes or anything like that. But roughly the afternoon that the Mad Tosh arrived, I found that somebody was D-stashing 5 skeins of plucky sweater in a fantastic colorway. I mean, it's just perfect. So there's going to be some crinkling, and I'll do it as quick as I can. I so should have prepped for this. So I have, so I ordered it, because when is that ever going to happen again? So this is high cotton, and it is a fantastic gray. It's coming out a little purple, probably because of the rainy weather. But it's fantastic. So this is Plucky Sweater, 270 yards of 90-10 merino nylon. Like I said, it's the high cotton colorway, and they were D-stashing 5 skeins, so there we go. And so now I have a bit of a conundrum. I'm not sure which one to do plucky with, or to do, not plucky, Salted. Maybe that's my sign. Maybe I should do it with the plucky. So I'm going to start a thread in the Rav group, and I want you guys to tell me what you think, which one I should do, because I can't decide. I'm going back and forth. Should I do 2 because I love this pattern so much, or should I do something else with whichever one I don't use? I have enough regardless. So anyway, so I'm gonna post that thread, and so you guys go tell me what you think. I'm also gonna make it a poll, so hit love or dislike, or one of the buttons, to vote for them. But I'll get that set up, and that will be up before this goes live. Oh gosh, is that all? I think so. I think that's all of the stash. Like I said, this one is going to be the one with all of the stash, because it's so much. Oh, you know what? The sun came out. I'm going to show this to you guys real quick. So there is Cordovan. Oh yeah, much better. Again, more purpley, but still, you can see it now. Isn't that gorgeous? I love it. Okay, so that's Cordovan for my Twinkle Twinkle Baby J blanket. Alright guys, now that we've talked for 40 minutes about stash, I'm going to probably end it here. I normally will be including some reading here at the end here, but I haven't done much reading, just because of all of the craziness that is stashing and knitting and end of semester stuff. So once again, I'm Hokie Knits on Ravelry, Hokie Knits, and I will see you guys in about 2 weeks with our next episode. Happy knitting, and I'll see you later. Bye guys.